Number 8. Jason Alexander. Pop music icon Britney Spears and actor Sam Asghari got married at the former's Hillside Mansion in Thousand Oaks, California on June 9th of 2022. Before the ceremony started, during preparations, the artist's ex-boyfriend, 40-year-old Jason Alexander, showed up uninvited to the event. He filmed himself walking into the venue, telling workers he was there to crash it. According to security guard Richard Ubler, Alexander attempted to enter Spears' bedroom while she was locked inside. Ubler confronted the man along with another security guard, and the three of them got into a physical altercation. Ventura County Sheriff's deputies were called to the residence, and they took Alexander into custody. Upon their arrival, he was charged with misdemeanor trespassing, 2 misdemeanor counts of battery, and a misdemeanor vandalism charge. At the time, he was also wanted by the authorities on a felony theft warrant in Napa County. On June the 27th, Alexander had a 2-hour preliminary hearing during which he pleaded not guilty to all of the charges levied against him. A California judge found there was sufficient evidence for him to go to trial on a felony stalking charge, as it was suspected he tried to break into Spears' home in the days before the wedding as well. Number 7. Jason Luis Rivera. On September the 7th of 2012, an intruder armed with a pair of scissors was found in the garden of Miley Cyrus's mansion in Los Angeles, California. The authorities were alerted after he'd been spotted climbing over the fence of the artist's home. When law enforcement made their way to the scene, they drew their guns out and slowly approached the trespasser, ordering him to step out the gate. The man, identified as 40-year-old Jason Luis Rivera, claimed he was a friend of Cyrus's and that she was expecting him. His statements were immediately contradicted by the fact that the celebrity wasn't home at the time of the incident. Rivera was initially reluctant to obey the officer's commands and only emerged with his hands up when they threatened to use a taser on him. He was charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of trespassing and 1 misdemeanor count of resisting arrest. He was ultimately found guilty and jailed for 18 months. In November of 2012, the singer also obtained a restraining order against Rivera, stating he had to stay at least 3,000 feet away from her at all times. Number 6. Diron Dedder. Diron Dedder, a German exchange student from Hamburg, entered a garage in Missoula, Montana while reportedly looking for alcohol on April the 27th of 2014. Dedder, who was in his late teens, was studying at Big Sky High School. He was walking through his host family's Grant Creek neighborhood late at night before he eventually trespassed in the garage. Dedder was then met by 29-year-old Marcus Karma, the owner of the property. He'd been alerted of an intruder by the motion sensors he'd installed, following a string of burglaries to his garage, and confronted the exchange student in the dark. According to witnesses, he fired 4 times at Dedder with a shotgun, hitting him once in the arm and again fatally in the head. Karma was arrested after the killing, and during his ensuing trial, prosecutors argued he deliberately set out to attract and gun down a burglar. The previous cases of trespassing on his property were reported to have fueled his intentions. In court, the man apologized for causing Dedder's death, while much of his defense relied on the Castle Doctrine, a law enabling homeowners to react with deadly force if they believe an intruder is attempting to harm them. Karma's girlfriend, who was also a mother to his child, told the court that he'd only wanted to protect his family and that he'd never intended to kill anyone. Karma was nevertheless found guilty of deliberate homicide in December of 2014. During sentencing, a judge stated that he'd acted like a hunter by purposefully leaving the door to his garage unlocked on the night, and not like a man defending his loved ones. He was sentenced to 70 years in prison with a minimum of 20 years served. Number 5. Connor Attridge. On May the 29th of 2022, a few days before the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, the gate of the Royal Mews at the Buckingham Palace was open for an authorized vehicle. At that moment, 28-year-old Connor Attridge took the opportunity to walk inside. Breaching the palace boundary by 9 to 16 feet, he encountered a household staff member who tried telling him to stop. Attridge, however, refused to turn around and leave. The man, who sported face tattoos of musical notes, teardrops, and the words "truly blessed," told staff that he wanted to come inside and see the Queen. He was eventually ushered out of the gate and subsequently arrested for trespassing on a protected site. security around Buckingham Palace had been heightened in anticipation of the upcoming celebrations, marking the 70th anniversary of Queen Elizabeth II's ascension to the throne. Attridge's case was ongoing as of the latest updates on the matter. There was some speculation that his intentions might have been nefarious, but his lawyer argued that the man suffered from mental health issues and had had no motive or desire to go further than he did. Number 4. Cody Devine and Janai Wilson. In February of 2014, retired schoolteacher Wayne Bergarello walked into what he believed would be his vacant duplex in Reno, Nevada, which he'd only been using on and off for the previous 3 years. When the 73-year-old entered, he saw 2 intruders, later identified as Cody Devine and Janai Wilson, sleeping on a makeshift bed on his floor. The duo had allegedly been taking illicit substances while squatting in the home. Bergarello would later claim that he saw Devine's arm rise up and thought he was holding a gun. He then opened fire on the trespassers. The homeowner shot 34-year-old Devine 5 times, including once in the head, killing him, and hit Wilson in her leg, arm, and stomach, leaving her with serious injuries. Following the incident, he was charged with attempted murder and had 4 alternative charges of first-degree murder, second-degree murder, voluntary manslaughter, and involuntary manslaughter. During the ensuing trial, prosecutors would maintain that Bergarello had acted with premeditation and a desire for revenge in light of the repeated burglaries that had occurred at the property. They noted that the man treated the trespassers like it was open season and never tried warning or talking to them. Bergarello's legal representative, arguing for acquittal under Nevada's stand your ground self-defense law, noted that the trespassers had been responsible for creating the dangerous situation, adding that Bergarello had reacted to what he thought was a mortal threat. In May of 2015, after deliberating for 6 hours, the jury found the man not guilty of all charges. Had he been convicted, Bergarello would have faced up to life in prison without parole. Number 3. Trespassing at DaBaby's home. An unnamed man scaled a wall and jumped over to Rapper DaBaby's property in Troutman, North Carolina on April the 13th of 2022. DaBaby, real name Jonathan Kirk, spotted the intruder near a football field on the compound and opened fire, hitting the man in his lower extremities. He then called 911 and told the dispatcher that he'd been defending his property and that he needed medical care for the intruder. The man was taken to a local hospital and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The police department in Troutman opened an investigation into the case. After consulting with the county district attorney's office, the inquiry was closed with the decision that DaBaby wouldn't face any criminal charges. Today's topic was requested by Instagram follower DanCody56. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below, or follow us on Instagram and reach out to us there. Number 2. Bernard Ovu. 35-year-old IT expert Bernard Ovu was returning home from a wedding in Rotherhithe, southeast London, on January the 22nd of 2017. While walking through Canning Town Underground Station, he strayed into a staff-only area. The emergency gates through which he'd passed were then closed and Ovu remained trapped for close to an hour. He started wandering around, confused and in a reported state of inebriation. CCTV captured him at the top of the staircase leading down to the DLR platform at around 2:47 a.m. Within minutes, Ovu tripped and fell down the concrete stairs, sustaining fatal head injuries. His lifeless body was discovered at the bottom of a fire escape 6 hours later. Following the accident, Ovu's mother, Rosalind Agbibo, sued London Underground Limited for over $365,000 in damages, claiming her son's death had been caused by the company's negligence. The suit stated that ensuring safe staffing levels would have made Ovu's presence more obvious, resulting in him being detected and escorted to the passengers area before getting hurt. However, London Underground denied the allegations, insisting the man was a trespasser at the time of his death. A high court eventually ruled against Ovu's family's case, concluding that the 35-year-old was in a restricted area in which the safety of passengers wasn't the legal responsibility of station managers. Number 1. Carl Townsend. In October of 2021, Carl Townsend received a notification from his Ring doorbell, alerting him there had been a break-in at his home in Halewood. England. 32-year-old Townsend and his half-brother, Jamie Cunningham, aged 23, armed themselves with knives and rushed to the address with the intention of confronting the intruders. Upon reaching the property, they found 3 burglars on the premises. In an alleged attempt to defend himself, Townsend stabbed one of the intruders in his left eye with such force that a piece of the blade snapped and became embedded into his brain. A few minutes later, he knifed the man again in the street, fatally severing his jugular vein. Townsend claimed that after inflicting the final wound, he recognized the trespasser as 31-year-old Jordan Brophy, a man whom he'd known since primary school. Townsend and Cunningham were charged with murder and possession of a bladed article. During a trial at Liverpool Crown Court, the former maintained that Brophy had lunged at him with a knife while another one of the 3 intruders had pointed a gun at him. Prosecutors described the incident as a brutal and ruthless killing, claiming Townsend's motivation had been either revenge or punishment. They denied the presence of a gun at the scene and argued Brophy was defenseless when the killing blows were delivered. As of May 2022, Cunningham was cleared of murder charges, but Townsend was potentially set for a retrial after jurors were unable to reach the same verdict. Thanks for watching. Assuming you were stranded in the mountains, would you rather have to face a gun-toting property owner or a black bear? Let us know in the comments section below.